Okay, Jesus is in the garden. Now, is it normal for a person to say, before Abraham was, I am?
Right. So, no, right. That's right. So, that's right. So now, this word I am is from the Old Testament.
Yes,
You
sir,
see.
Yahweh. Literally.
No. Moses goes to the mount,
Yes, sir.
and when he's commissioned to go and liberate his people, he is asking God, he said, look, what shall I say? Who sent you? So he said, look, I am what I am. Eheye, Asher, Eheye. In Hebrew, that's what he said. Eheye, Asher, Eheye. Means I am whatever I am. Just don't bother about who sent you. I sent you. Go, man. What you asking me names? I am.
Not I am whatever I am.
Please. You see, the questioner, I hope, will go and sit down. Because this is not a debate. You ask a question, I will answer. Please sit down.
Now we'll begin with the oral questions, please.
Oh, sir, you claim that Jesus never said he was God. But have you read John 8:58? I'm sure you're familiar with that, where he took the name of God that was described to Moses. When God said to Moses the name that he wanted to be called forever in generations, he said, I am who I am. Jesus in John 8:58, when asked, who he was, he said, before Abraham was, I am. And then right after that, the Jews, the Pharisees, took up stones to stone him because he committed a blasphemy, claiming to be God Almighty. How do you answer that, sir?
Shall I repeat my words? I said, nowhere did Jesus ever say, I am God. Nowhere did he say, worship me. That's English. I don't know whether the Americans understand the English the way I understand. I said, he said, nowhere did he say, I am God. Nowhere did he say, worship me. Now, you quote me a verse. He didn't say, I am God, did he? He said, I am. He didn't say, I am God. Let's the English, the language that I'm using. I hope we are. You remember at the beginning I offered a prayer. Remove the impediment from my speech. Psychological barriers. You see, I'm thinking something, talking something, you understanding something else. I said, where he said, I am God. Where he says, worship me. Nothing. So you're quoting something else. I will respond. You see, I will not brush you off. I say, oh, this is of no consequence. No. He did say, they're asking him, he says, in the Garden of Gethsemane. You see, they come looking for Jesus. And he's asking, whom seekest thou, you people? Who are you looking for? They say, Jesus. He says, I am he. I am. He. Who? God. They were looking for God. No, he says, I am he. Who? Jesus, the one you're looking for. If some of your FBI or CIA fellow comes along looking for Deedat, he said, who's Deedat here? I said, I am. What, God? When I say I am? No, he says, I am Deedat. So now, if a person is looking for trouble, you see, when we're looking for faults, and the Jews were looking for trouble against Jesus, any excuse, every excuse. Slightest something he says, they pick up stone again to stone him. Why? Because they say, you claim such and such a thing. You blaspheme. They were always continuously out to get him out, to catch him out, because they didn't like his preaching.
Why would he say, okay, they say, where are you, Jesus? Okay, Jesus is in the garden. Now, is it normal for a person to say, before Abraham was, I am?
Right. So, no, right. That's right. So, that's right. So now, this word I am is from the Old Testament.
Yes,
You
sir,
see.
Yahweh. Literally.
No. Moses goes to the mount.
Yes, sir.
And when he's commissioned to go and liberate his people, he's asking God, he said, look, what shall I say? Who sent you? So he said, look, I am what I am. Eheye, Asher, Eheye. In Hebrew, that's what he said. Eheye, Asher, Eheye. Means I am whatever I am. Just don't bother about who sent you. I sent you. Go, man. What you asking me names? I am.
Not I am whatever I am.
Please. You see, the questioner, I hope, will go and sit down. Because this is not a debate. You ask a question, I will answer. Please sit down. Please sit down. Later there in the front seat, there's a chair. Sit down there. Right. That's it. You ask the question, I will respond. You see, but this is a debate. And debate I had with Jimmy Swaggart. You see, we don't want to debate tonight. So, God tells Moses, go man, go. Eheye ashar eheye. I am what I am. What you bothered about who I am? Somebody comes along and says, look, move the mic from here to there. He says, who are you? Maybe he's in charge of this establishment. Say, look, don't bother about all that. You put that thing there. What? He says, who are you? I say, I am whatever I am. Do the job, man. So that word in the Greek translation is ho on. Ho on, I am. In Greek, your Septuagint, your Greek scriptures of the Old Testament, the word there is ho on, means I am. In the New Testament, the Greek word is ego eimi. Look, it's not the same word. Whatever it means in Hebrew or Greek, I don't know. But it's not the same word. Ho on, ego eimi. Then before Abraham was I am. I am before Abraham was. I am. I said, now how was he? Was he with God? I accept. He was with God. You see, he was with God. But I say, you were also with God. I was also there. Jeremiah tells us, God tells Jeremiah, it says, before you were in your mother's womb, I knew you. And I made you a prophet to the nations before you went into your mother's womb. Jeremiah. You read that? Jeremiah, God says, I know you before you were in your mother's womb. I made you a prophet. How? What kind of a prophet is this? Before he goes in his mother's womb, he's a prophet. Was he with God? Of course he was with God. In other words, in the knowledge of God. Jeremiah was there. Jesus was there. Muhammad was there. Hitler was there. Reagan was there. Everybody was there. You, me, everybody. In the knowledge of God. He knew long before, the creation of Adam and Eve, that there will be a night. This guy, Ahmed Deedat, he will go and lecture, and you, my son, I don't know your name, but he says, you will come along, and you'll be the first questioner. He knew all that. In his knowledge. But you were not there in this form. I was not there in this form. Jesus was not there in that form. In the knowledge, everything was there. That is the all-knowing God. Long beforehand, he knows everything. You see? So in that sense, Jesus was there with God before Abraham was born in this world. Before historically, chronologically, Abraham came on earth. Jesus was there. In his knowledge, in his plan. He had Jesus there. He had Muhammad there. He had Hitler there. He had Reagan there. Can you see? Before Abraham was born, Reagan was there, Deedat was there, everybody was there. How? What form? Shape, size? No form, no shape, no size. Knowledge. His self-knowledge. He's omniscient. Do you say that? God Almighty is omniscient. He's all-knowing. If he's all-knowing, he knows everything before and after. It is to us before, now, and after. In the sight of God, there is no before, now, and after. It's all an open book. That is our understanding of the expression. Why the Jews took exception? They were taking exception to everything. You see, in John chapter 10, verse 30, you remember? They took up stones again to stone him. You know why? Because he said, I and my Father are one. You read that context and you find is a series of deliberate misunderstanding. See, when you're looking for trouble, you get it around the corner. You don't have to go very far. This is human beings. Every innocent expression you make, I can find fault with it. You know that? Like the word son is my son. So what do you mean? You knew my mother? I said, no, son, I don't mean that. I said, you still call me a son? You can bash me on the jaw. It has happened to me. See, in my country, which is a country, full of color separation, apartheid. I'm traveling in a bus, Pullman bus. I don't know, you have things like that here. From the North Coast where I got married and I'm coming to Durban, where I live and I work. After a weekend, I am returning. I'm sitting in the bus. And while this bus is passing now through Durban, the city where I live, and I can see that it's going to the central station, but it passes Alice Street where I work. So I walk up to the driver and I ask him, excuse me, brother, does this bus stop anywhere near Alice Street? If so, then I can pull the string and nearer to get to work instead of going to the station and then walking back 2 miles. If it is stopping anywhere near Alice Street, it's passing Alice Street. I know it's crossing it. So he said, no. Not like he barked. He said, no. I thought maybe sometime, we do speak with jerks. unintentionally. I speak a bit too loud when I didn't mean it. You see? No. So I go and sit back on my seat. So it takes me to the central station. No alternative. By hydraulics, the doors are opened. I get down, I'm still holding the rail, one leg on the ground, and the leg is other one still on the platform. So he leaves his steering and he rushes to me. He says, "Don't you call me your brother." He says, "Call those coolies your brothers." So what happened? I'm stunned. I don't know what's going on. He says, "Don't you call me your brother. Call those coolies your brothers." I'm counted as a coolie. Coolie means a laborer. You see, some of my people, they had gone to South Africa as laborers. So they divide the people into Africans, they call them Kafirs. Coloreds are a mixture between black and white, they call them Hottentots, Bushmen. See? Me, I'm a coolie, whether Hindu, Muslim or Christian. So he says, "Don't you call me your brother, call those coolies your brothers." But I don't know what happened. It's so sudden. I didn't mean anything. You know what he thought? He thought that I insinuated that my father has something to do with his mother. Is that what I mean when I say my brother, my son? No, he took it that way. And I'm stunned. If he had a gun, he would have shot me. My God, fortunately he didn't have one. So this is, if you're looking for trouble, innocent expression. He was said, "Brother, I said, you still call me up my brother?" He could have punched me. You know that? So, Mom is the word. Retreat. Honorable retreat. I did.
I'm so grateful that you're able to watch this video to the end. In fact, it's very clear in its sense that in the Bible, Jesus never claimed to be God. Jesus can never be God because in Numbers 23:19, it clearly says that God is not a human being or a son of man. So in that same Bible, we have to find out that in first book of John, chapter 4, verse 12, it clearly says that no one has seen God at any time. And when you go deep to read in the Bible in Old Testament, you also find out that in Exodus 33:20, it clearly shows that what? That no man sees God and live. It's really clear to us to know that the disciples saw Jesus Christ. No one know that Jesus was a son of man and could not be God. And also no one can see God and live.
قال إني عبد الله آتاني الكتاب وجعلني نبيا